We are studying Shankara's Atma Bodha. We are in verse number 11 to 14. We are going to review it and then continue with from 15. In verse 11, he says, what is only Nirguna Brahman. Just like he gives an example, just like water, where to water everything is other ingredients are added, colors are added, and then we call it with different names. Atma is only one. There is only one, there is no second. Advitiyam, one without a second. To that we have added many things, jati, nama, ashrama, religion, everything to this. He is sarvagatam, he is all pervading, not knowing that one, all individuals see the differences. When we see the differences, anger, fear, hatred, attachment, love, all this starts. When there is only one, there is nothing. Nirguna Brahman is one complete, full, purna. No vijatiya, sajatiya, swagata, beda. There are no differences absolutely. It is the basis, it is the foundation, it is the substratum of all existence. Permeating through every being. Just like the thread in a necklace. Without the thread, necklace, there's no necklace. Just like the thread in the cloth. If you pull out the thread, there is no cloth. So also that Nirguna Brahman alone is permeating through every being. And 12, 13, and 14 is the important one. That is the gist that is very often not shared in many talks we hear. Because these are the ones that tells you, they call it atatya vritti lakshanam. That is atat, not that. We have to go only by saying, negating it. Not this, not this, not this. So Nirguna Brahman is undefinable, indescribable, cannot be pinpointed. Brahman is not an object of perception. Cannot be cognized through the mind. Only way to know Brahman is negating all that is not. So, verse 12, he talks about Stula Shariram, which is gross body. Gross body is something that is tangible with dimensions, physical, material matter. Verse 13 is Sukshma Sharira, which is subtle body, which is not physical. It is also referred as Linga Sharira, invisible, the mind, and other parts. 14, verse 14 is Karana Sharira, causal body, which is the cause of the first gross body and subtle body. It is the ignorance. Now the process of negating starts in verse number 12. Gross body, Stula Sharira. In this universe, all appearances are made up of 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. Including this body and mind. All differences in beings are due to this 5 elements, and the process is called grossification. In Sanskrit, it is referred as panchikarna. Thought by thought, word by word, we create our own destiny. We create our own blueprint. This body is a location to experience the pain and pleasure, the consequences of our actions. Action here refers to thought, word, and deed. When we think anything about anything, any being or anything, that has got a consequence. It is referred as Bhogasthana. This body is a tent, a room, a hall to experience the pain and pleasure, just like that AC room. I am not the AC room. I experience the coolness there. Therefore, I am not this body. I am the seer of this body. That is verse number 12. Now we go to verse 13. Subtle body is not visible to 5 senses. It has got 17 parts, and it is made up of 5 elements before grossification, tan matras, rudimentary elements like ore. So what are the 17 parts? Pancha prana, prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana. Pancha pranas, 5 air movements. 5 organs of perceptions, that is 5 senses, hearing, touching, seeing, smelling, tasting. 5 organs of actions, hands, legs, excretory organ, reproductive organ, and tongue. Tongue here refers to speech, organs of action. So we have 15 plus mind and intellect. Yeah. So what is holding these senses together is the mind, which is also constantly changing. I'm afraid, I'm angry, I'm worried, I'm in sorrow, I feel guilt. All this mind also keeps changing at all times. Mind interprets all these 15 organs. Atma is one whole, no parts. Nishkalam, nishvikaram. It does not act on anything. It has no parts. Subtle body is an instrument for the Atma to experience, interact with the world, like microscope, telescope, computer. For the Atma, it is Bhoga Sadhana. Sadhana means a tool, an instrument of experience. Therefore, I am not the mind. I am different from the mind. That is 13. That is very important. These 3 are very important. These are the foundation of Advaita Vedanta. Verse 14, just like the rope is the basis, foundation, substratum for the snake, Brahman is the basis, foundation, substratum for the universe. World is not a second entity. It is not something that is created. Any creation is second. I created this is a second. World is not a creation. It is a manifestation. It is an expression. Like I walk in the sun and my expression is the shadow. A flower, the fragrance of flower is the expression. The dance of a dancer is an expression of the dancer. So everything that we see is all expression of that one divinity. This ignorant of not knowing that self is avidya. And this avidya, ignorance, cannot be described. It has been always there. Anadi. When it is known, it becomes vidya. You don't know when the snake originated in the mind. It has no beginning, but has an end. Once you know the knowledge that it is a rope, the snake ends. Say, for example, I can say, how long do you know Narayan Rao? How long do you don't know Narayan Rao? I can't answer that question. I never knew. It was always ignorant. Only now in the past 1 or 2 months, I know. Before that, I didn't know. How long you didn't know? I can't say that. So it is something that ignorant, you cannot define when it started. So that ignorance, avidya, is the cause for the gross, subtle body. Ignorance is neither sat nor asat, or you can neither say it exists nor it doesn't exist. You cannot say it doesn't exist because I experienced the snake in the rope. It exists. It appears to exist, right? So you cannot say it exists. You cannot pull it out and feed milk. It doesn't exist. But at the same time, you cannot say it doesn't exist also because I experience the fear. So it is neither sat nor asat. It is referred as anirvachya. Atma in this body, in this embodiment, is the same in every being that we see outside. That Atma is the witness of this body, witness of everything. Aham, idam, I and this. When you say this, none of those this are you. You are different from this. There are 3 different angles he looks at it. 3 states of being. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. three bodies: gross body, subtle body, and causal body. 5 koshas, that is layers: food sheath, air sheath, mind sheath, intellect sheath, bliss sheath. In each Upanishad, he uses different terminologies and different examples. So, all these three, all these varied situations, states, Atman alone is. Atman is the witness of all this. Individual, at the individual level, we call it microcosmic, Vyashti in Sanskrit. At the macrocosmic level, it is Samashti. And all these things are accessible through 5 senses. But not Atman. Ignorance is the cause of all these bodies. When the gross body leaves, Atma doesn't leave. When the subtle body leaves, Atma doesn't leave. When the causal body leaves, it becomes knowledge. It doesn't leave. It is ever present, Sat. And you are that. Therefore, the causal body is not you. So therefore, you are not the subtle. You are not the gross body. You are not the subtle body, and you are not the gross body, causal body. So you know who you are not now. You are that Atman Nirguna Brahman. Introduction to verse 15. Atma is the inner presence, is the witness of all these 3 bodies, 3 different perceptions or 3 different angles. 3 bodies, gross, subtle, and causal. 5 koshas, food, air, mind, intellect, and bliss. 3 states, waking, dream, and deep sleep state. Piercing through all this. I is attached to one of these at all times. When I say I'm sitting here, I'm attaching to this Annamaya Kosha, which is food sheath. And Atman is all pervasive. How can I say I'm just sitting here? I'm everywhere. I am thinking. Who is thinking? The mind is thinking. At that time, I'm attaching to the mind, Manonmaya Kosha. Atman is Akarta. Darren, could you mute your audio, please? I think there is some noise I'm getting. Maybe it is from my side.
There's no noise here.
Okay, I'm getting some noise. Okay, let's see. Maybe some echo. Okay, now my heart beats fast. I'm connecting with the Pranamaya Kosha, which is air sheath. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm afraid. Heart beats fast. That time it is associated with the air sheath. When I say I'm not coming today, it's an intellectual sheath. It is attached to the intellectual sheath, decision-making sheath. I slept very well. There's a thunderstorm. I didn't even know that. You are attaching to the bliss sheath. Bliss sheath is also referred as joyless joy. Now, when you sleep, who knows you slept? You slept. You didn't know anything. How did you know that you slept? The ego slept. I and mind slept. Atma is the witness of that ego was there always. It is referred as joyless joy. You neither knew the world nor Atman. But Atman was there. Atman was there. That's the key. Atman is ever present. Now verse 15. Pancha koshadi yogena tat tanmaya ivastitaha suddhatma nila vastradi yogena spatikayata. We saw that 3 drishti, 3 different aspects of life, 3 perspectives, 3 bodies, 3 states, and 5 layers. In any aspect, Atma is the witness. But our mind, the ego, ahamkaram, I and mind is always present. As long as we are associated with one of these. Without association with the food sheath, I cannot say I'm sitting here. Similarly, with all sheaths, Atma associates with one of the 5 layers, including bliss sheath.
I'm getting confused about the I, madam. That I, no? So are you referring sometimes to the ego and sometimes to the Atma?
When I say I'm sitting here, it is associated with the body, therefore it is the ego.
That Atma is associating with body.
Atma is associated with body. It is ego. It is the jiva. Okay. When that is why we don't know who we are. We are always associating with the I as the ego, not knowing the true I. I slept well. Who slept? The ego slept. Aikyam, the word is Sanskrit. Aikyam means binding, bondage, a knot. Atma is bound to this body. As long as this body is there, there is no liberation for jiva. Because I'm always thinking, I am this body. I am this mind. I did this, I did that. Who is I? I'm associating with all my intellect, my body, my accomplishments, all are ego. Atma is all pervasive everywhere, but it is bound with this limited body. Because it is in this entire body from head to toe, I think ego thinks I am this body, which is a wrong identification. It is sarva vyapi, sarva gatam, everywhere. Just like he gives an example that a crystal, when you place it on a red cloth, it is going to appear red. If you put it in a blue cloth, it is going to appear blue. If you put it in a black cloth, it is going to appear black. It takes the color of the cloth. Similarly, Atma, the inner presence, because of its connections with these 5 layers, appears to be the body, mind, and intellect. Shuddhatma panchakoshadi yogena tanmayaha ivastitaha. Iva means seems like, looks like. If I say that person looks like Darren, looks like, but that is not Darren, right? Looks like. So Atma looks like Vijaya, when in fact, Atma is not connected with any of this. Vijaya is for this body. Neela Vastradi Yogena, just like the crystal is when placed in a blue cloth, it appears to take the color of blue. Atma appears to be one of these koshas. When in fact, it is the witness of all this. It is the witness of all these koshas. When I'm hungry and thirsty, Atma is associated with the pranamaya kosha, air sheath. When I'm deep sleep, it is with the bliss sheath. Therefore, there appears to be a union, when in fact, Atma is asangaha, not attached to anything, appears to be attached. It is all pervasive, but to know, one should go within, antaryami. That is why in temples we used to have, if you go to Indian traditional temples, you have to make a couple of circles, you have to pass through different deities to go to the Mula Vigraha. It's not just open the gate and see, you have to go through this. You have to go inside. Taittiriya Upanishad says you have to go inside the cave. To know that, you have to follow self-inquiry is very necessary. Logical analysis, critical thinking. That is what Jnana Yoga is. That is the first step. Who am I? Why did I come in this earth? What is my purpose? What I'm going to do? What is my goal in life? All these questions should come from within. People are afraid to think. That is why they just keep doing activities till the end. You have to start questioning, what is the purpose of my birth here? Why am I born? Verse 16 emphasizes on logical analysis. That is called vicharam in Sanskrit. That is, the process is Shravanam, first listening, Mananam, contemplating. When you think about it again and again, you will get multiple questions, multiple doubts. Ask, clarify those doubts, get convinced, who am I? Then you follow the practice to realize it. That is nididhyasana. Verse 16, Vapustushadibihi koshaihi yuktam yukta avagataha atmani antaram suddham vivinchyat tandulam yata. He gives an example. Yukti means logical analysis, discernment. In books that are translated in English, often they use the word discriminate between Atman and Atman. But discriminate, when we use the word in the Western world, it has got a totally different meaning, negative connotation. You should discriminate is not a positive word here. You have, so I use differentiate, discern the permanent from the impermanent. Like fact and fake. We should be able to know the fact and fake. Exactly that. Ability to discern. Line 1, he says, gross and subtle body needs to be separated from that Atman, just like the husk is removed from the rice. Atman is covered with panchakoshas, 5 layers. Only by logical analysis one can isolate and discern Atma from Anatma. Anatma is not Atman. Atmani antaram suddham. That is Atma, which is ever pure, unpolluted, is inside. It is inside the 5 koshas. In Hindi, antar means go inside. The only way is self-inquiry. That is the first step to Jnana Yoga, self-knowledge. Vivekam is discerning. It is compared to the plunger, which removes the husk from the rice. Self-inquiry, logical analysis. Say if you have a diamond, what we do, we put it in a tissue paper or a soft cloth, put it in a tiny box, put it in a Ziploc bag, keep it in the safe, lock the safe, and then the safe is inside the cupboard, lock the cupboard. So also, Atman, which is sacred, is inside the Panchakoshas. It is very valuable, sacred, priceless. But we don't know that. That is why it is a secret. It is a Rajaguhyam, Rajavidya, they call it in Bhagavad Gita. Rajaguhyam, royal secret. Not everybody can access it. Yeah, it is open to all, but you have to come to access it. Now he says, when I am standing or I am sitting here, I am associating with the food sheath, Annamaya Kosha. So the gross body is eliminated. I am not this. When I say my heart is beating fast, my air sheath is eliminated. I am not that air sheath. When I say I am angry, I am happy, I am worried, it is associating with the mind sheath. So mind sheath is eliminated. I am not coming to the class. Is intellect sheath. So I am not that. I am bliss sheath. I slept well. That is bliss sheath. I am not any of these sheaths. I am none of this. I am the Sakshi, I am the witness of all this. Every vibration, movement of particles is all cosmic dance. They call it Nataraja's cosmic dance. Actually, in fact, yesterday was Arudra Darshana, Nataraj in India, in Chidambaram. Every moment, every activities, it is creation, protection, destruction, embodiment, taking the body, release from the body. All these are drama activities. These are all because of that one presence. Gita chapter 11 is full of this, elaborately explains there. We are in Vishwarupa Darshana. Now chapter 17. Sada sarvagataha api atmana sarvatra avabhasyate buddhau eva avabhasyate swacheshu pratibimbhavatu. Even though the sun's brightness is all over, you can see the brightness in plants, trees, vines, mountains, rivers, rocks, all buildings, and on all humans. The sun can reflect only in a clean mirror or a clear, still water. If the mirror is dirty, we cannot see our face. The mirror needs to be clean. So also, Atman can reflect only in pure mind. All kinds of likes and dislikes, hatred, negative emotion, I and mine are covering that one ever-present Atma. Even though it is all pervasive, it is everywhere, but we cannot see it. Why? Because of our mind. It is universally present at all times, beyond space and time, but that does not reflect in all. Buddhav eva swacheshu pratibimbavatu will reflect only in a pure, clear intellect, mind. Even though it is all pervasive, to release it, to realize it, one has to go within, antaryami. So now the question is, Purva Pakshi is asking, if Atma is in this body, how can you say it is not attached to it? How can you say it is asangaha? From now on, we know who I am not, who I am, right? I am that Atman Nirguna Brahman. It is going to be repeated for the rest of the 40 verses with different examples. Oftentimes people quit after this because they think I know it, I don't need to continue. It is like emphasizing when our children are going out, or if you are not a parent, you know your parents will be telling you, did you forget that? Did you take it? Hope you don't forget it. Keep it in your purse. Keep it safe so you don't misplace it. We keep saying it again and again. So for emphasis, Shankara does the same thing. For emphasis, he is repeating in every verse. Because a parrot can be trained to say holy name, Ram, Ram, Ram. Parrot will repeat it. But when a cat comes, it will forget the Ram. It will think about the cat. Same thing when we face challenges in life, we will forget all that we have heard. And then we will start thinking about the challenges and sufferings, struggles. So that is why it is important to do the Shravanam continuously. Shravanam again and again and again until we realize. It's a long process. Nothing happens overnight. So, now, verse 18. Dehendriya manobuddhi prakrtibhyaha vilakshanam tatpritti shakshinam vidyat atmanam rajavat sada. Atma is vilakshanam, different from, apart from, separated from body, senses, mind, intellect, nature, and universe. It is the witness of all, but not attached to anything. Emphasis is on asangoyam purushaha, not associated with anything. In Kena Upanishad, it says about it is the eye of the eye, it is the ear of the ear, it is the mind of the mind, it is the witness of all this. In the same Kena Upanishad also says there is a bird called Chakora Pakshi. Pakshi means bird, which is the national bird of Pakistan today. Those days, thousands of years ago, when the king eats his food, this bird will be sitting there. And if the food had poison, the bird's eye would turn red. Then the king won't eat. That bird is a passive cause. The bird doesn't do anything. Based on its presence, the king makes the decision whether to eat or not. Similarly, this Atma is the inner presence. Because of that Atma is in this body, these eyes are seeing, the tongue is speaking, hands are shaking. All activities are happening because of that presence. Except Atma, everything else is inert in every body. Without this Atma, this body will not do anything, no function at all. And this Atma is self-illuminating. How can I say self-illuminating? Say you are coming to my house, you are staying for 2 days. And the first night at 11:30, you are reading a book in your bedroom with a lamp, and suddenly the electricity goes off. Pitch dark, everything is dark, you don't see anything. Then from downstairs, I call your name. Usha, are you there? And you say, yes, I am here. How do you know? How do you know that you are there? Because I'm thinking you are upstairs in your bedroom, there's no light, you may get hit in my desk or table or chair that is there. You don't know in my house where things are. In your house, you know it. You are in this body. But it is self-revealing. I am there. It's only human beings know I exist. Animals do not know I exist. That is
Here,
because
I'm putting one question you did not answer, but I would like to know that only human beings are endowed with this, and
yes.
not animals.
Okay,
Why that injustice? We will discuss later.
Yes.
Okay, but that is a question always.
No, the simple answer is you take a dog for a walk. You take a dog you cross the bridge and there is water underneath. The dog will look at the water and will bark thinking there is another dog. It does not know it is my own reflection. But when we see the mirror, we see our own reflection, we don't order for 2 coffee.
That is true. The only point is that why it is not given, that advantage is not given to the animals.
It's not advantage. I can tell you, it's not advantage, disadvantage. Animals, there's a difference between humans and animals. Humans are the product of choices. We live by our choice. Every moment we make the decision, we choose. Animals live on instinct, we live on intuition. Because they live on instinct, all they do is eat, sleep, procreate. But we want this, we want that, we want to achieve, accomplish. We have got that 6th sense of intelligence, which we want to use to expand the potential. So that is why human beings are to get human birth itself is a very rare, says Shankara in Viveka Chudamani, verse 1. To get a human body, you should have done 50% papam and 50% punya. You should have done good things 50%. Then you get a human body. In the human body, you start inquiring, questioning it, get into this. Then you make the choice whether I should take this path or that path. But animals don't have to do that. They are hungry, they will go and eat. So that is the difference. So they don't know I exist. A bird, you can see a bird in big glass building, they will go and poke, thinking there is another bird. There's a lot of glasses break. They think there is another bird. They want to socialize. But human beings, we know. But we are supposed to see the Atman in another body, but we don't. Because that is a product of our choices. We don't see the Atman in every being. We say, I don't like this person. I don't like him. He said this, she said this. Because of our own mind, we have to see the positivity. All are made up of 5 elements, including this body, mind, and intellect. And Atma is the Nirguna Brahman. It is not inert. It is knowledge itself. Chit, Chaitanya, existence. Consciousness and bliss. Consciousness is knowledge, Chaitanya. Atma has no parts. Everything changes in this universe. The body, mind, and intellect changes. Body has got Shat Vikaram. That is 6 modification. It existed in parents. Exists, birth, growth, disease, decay, death. Everybody goes through this 5. But Atman is the witness of all these 6 stages. It is the Sakshi. It is not the seen, it is the seer. And you are that. You are not this body. This body will disintegrate over a period. We just don't know when. We all have birthday, date of birth and date of expiry. But before you lose this body, realize you are that. You are not this body, mind, and intellect. You are not the inert objects that are seen. You are that. Atman is the witness of ignorance. It sees both the presence and absence. It sees the light and darkness. Sun can only show you the light. Sun cannot show you the darkness. But you can see both the light and darkness. You are that Atman. You can see the experience and non-experience. They call it bhava and abhava. I can see this object, and I can also see the absence of object. Light cannot show you the absence of object. Light can only show you the presence. Just like the chakora bird. Here in this verse, he says, Rajavat Sada. In kingdom, those days, when the king is there in the throne, all ministers will be working. And today's example, if the boss is in the office, everybody will be working. If boss is outside the building, you know how everybody is near the coffee pot. Little relaxed. Same thing. Atman is there. That is why this body, all things are functioning just by the presence. Right? So that is verse number 18. Verse 19. Vyaprateshu indriyeshu atma vyapari iva avivekinam drishyat abareshu davatsu davan yata shashi. See, when the clouds are moving, we know when we drive also, we can see the sun appears to be moving. Sun doesn't move, clouds are moving. One who is unable to separate, differentiate the nityam, the permanent from the impermanent. One who is not exposed to the scriptures or guru's teaching, general public. Atman appears to be moving, doing, performing, acting. I am doing this. I achieved this. Who is I? The ego. I got so many medals, so many awards. All these are of the body, mind, and intellect. Atma is just the witness. Akarta, abhokta, avikriya. Avikriya subhava. That means it doesn't do anything. It is mutually transposed. In Gita chapter 4, he talks about karta in akarta, akarta in karta. One who is action. When it is acting, you should be able to see the inactivity in activity and activity in inactivity. That's very elaborate in chapter 4. Say, when I say I'm just sitting, I'm not doing anything, we can say at the end of the day, I'm just sitting, I'm not doing anything. No, your eyes are still seeing. Your mind is still processing what you see. I see my daughter making coffee. She is pouring it. Even sitting is an activity. Seeing something is an activity. Even though you think you are not doing anything, there is a karta, there's an activity is going on. But Atma is inside, which is akarta, watching this mind interpret what the eyes are seeing. That is akarta, not doing anything. So it is mutually transposed. While functioning in this world, the actions, the movements are all of sense organs and the mind interprets them. Atma is just the witness. Our body, mind, world are all constantly changing, performing actions, activities. Therefore, Atma appears to be the doer. Atma is just the witness, and there is only one. Everything that is happening around us, think about it, take a minute and see, think about it, the gravity, the electricity, the magnetism, all these are expression of that one. Because of those things, other things are acting. There's only one. Now the question is, I have a feeling when the thorn pricks on my finger, or an ant bites my toe, or a tree branch touches my shoulder as I'm going for a walk, I sense them. I can feel all this in my body, different organs of body. How can you say that Atman can know, and Atman alone is the knowledge, and all these are inert? How can you say this body is inert? Verse 20. Answer. Atma Chaitanyam Ashrutya Dehendriya Manodiyaha Swakiyarteshu Vartante Surya Lokan Yata Janaha. Just like the presence of electricity operates in every equipment, because of that inner presence, this body, senses, mind, everything is operating. Because of that, the entire universe appears to be operating. All activities are because of that one presence. Without that one presence, there is no existence. Anything you say exists with a small e, exists, is because that is the existence. That existence alone is. But we see everything that exists. They are all expression of that one existence. No activities, no knowledge, no movements, nothing grasp, nothing will happen without that Atman. The isness, existence is isness. Anything that is that. It's not past tense or future tense. It is present continuous all the time. Existence, anything that exists is always there. It will exist for some time, it will depreciate for some time, but existence is always there. All these are dependent on, leaning on that one Atman. Ashrutya, leaning on. Now line 4, he says, the sun provides brightness and light, but it also energizes, but vitalizes, nourishes everything. An electric bulb can only give you light, right? Therefore, sun is the symbolic representation of that Atman. That is why we pray to sun god, sun deity. It's a symbolic representation of knowledge. In Kathopanishad says, there is a verse that says, Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Atma is smaller than the smallest, larger than the largest. That means it is everything. All are inside that. Greater, smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest. Behind all atoms, neutrons and protons and molecules, what is behind all this? Atman. Without that presence, there is nothing else. That alone is. Without me, there is no shadow. The shadow comes because of me, my presence, right? As an example. That is an expression of this body, this embodiment. Just like the sun is the cause of all activities. When the sun comes, you can see. When the sun appears, the birds chirp. Cool air breeze comes in, you felt. All animals are active. All humans get ready for the day. We don't do it at 3 o'clock in the morning. When the sun appears, we get ready. So also Atman is there. That Atman, you can call it awareness with a capital A, consciousness with a capital C, not conscious of something. That is of the intellect, of the mind. That awareness, that consciousness, that Atman, because of its presence, all the organs, they perform their respective activities. There are two types of knowledge. One is the transactional reality. Another one is transcendental reality, which is referred as Vyavahara Satyam and Paramarthika Satyam. Transaction reality is the first one. When I see an object, the light hits it and I get the light waves. The form of light waves, it touches my retina. I don't see the object, I see the vibrations. And when I see one and it's gone, say you're in the shopping store, you're in the store, you see one object, and when you see the second one, the first one disappears. When you see the third one, the second one disappears. You keep seeing different things. This is all temporary. Something that appears will disappear. But transcendental reality is beyond logic and senses. It is intuitive, beyond physical, beyond experience. It is ever present, nityam. They call it sat vritti. Sat means ever present, not past, present and future. Before knowledge, before I knew I am that, it was there. When I know I am that, it is there. If I lose my memory and I forget that, but still it won't be gone. It will still be there. My mind may not be working. If I'm dead, the body may not be reflecting, but Atman is still there. It has no birth, no death, nothing in between. Trikale. Because of that one presence, all inert, operates, functions, knows, understands. That one is Nitya, ever present. That one alone is. In Sanskrit, it is called Prajnanam Brahma. It is the witness of Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and all appearances. Everything is leaning on that one presence. We call that Atma Nirguna Brahman. At the microcosmic level and the macrocosmic level, there's only one. Now there is a question which leads to verse 21. We will go do that in next Sunday. I will show you the screen, share the screen with you for a few minutes. This we have seen, I think. Space, air, fire, water, earth. These 5 elements, originally they were in the rudimentary form. Tan matras, they alone came from Atman first, from that Nirguna Brahman. They alone, 5 elements. Then the second stage is there is a perforation in each one. The third stage is they divided into 2 equal halves.
How to understand that, madam? When they were in rudimentary form or perforation, how to take its significance for understanding? How?
Because of Atman's presence, initially from Atman, Taittiriya Upanishad says from Atman came space. It's how from space came air, from air came fire. So initially all these 5 elements are there in the rudimentary state.
As good as Atma.
From Atma, everything is for Atma, right? Everything came out of Atma.
Rudimentary means they were directly reflecting the Atma only, and they were just like Atma. May I take it that way?
Yeah, sure. And then there is a perforation that appeared. It did not separate into 2. The third step is separated into 2 equal parts. The fourth step is the first half remained as is. Let me turn on the list point. The first
how to understand perforation?
I think we are trying to understand through intellect. There was a tendency to break into 2.
Okay.
And then it broke into 2 equal halves. And the bottom half divided into 1/8. So the final 5th step is the space is 50% space. And it took 1/8 of this, 1/8 of this, 1/8 of this, and 1/8 of this. So it is a mixture of all 5 elements with space as predominant. With this one, air is the predominant. It took 1/8 of space, 1/8 of fire, 1/8 of water, 1/8 of earth. Now this one, fire as the predominant, it took 1/8 of space, air, water, and earth. Then water, 50% water. It took 1/8 of space, air, fire, and earth. This is 50% of earth, which took 1/8 of space, air, fire, and water. That is why all human beings are different in their appearance. Because of this, it is called Panchikaranam, grossification, plus our past karma, karma pala. With these two are the all bodies created.
So
And
can
this
we
body,
change it?
we cannot change this. This is how we are come out as is with this body. We cannot
Okay.
change this physical body. I cannot suddenly become 6 feet. I cannot become 150 pounds. If I'm 100 pounds, you can try to eat it, but there will be imbalance because originally you are this. That is why people who have 50% earth, they may appear to be fat. And even if they try to do fasting, they cannot reduce their weight. It is nature. It is nature. By nature, they are there. The body is going to be like that. So this is how the body is formed, plus our karma pala. Whatever actions we have performed, we have the thought, word, and deed. We have to go through those experiences. We have to experience the consequences. Right? So those two are together forms the body, and the body is the physical location. This is Sukshma Sharira, which is made up of 17 parts. Yes, question?
No.
Okay.
No.
5 organs of perceptions, which is Jnanendriyas. 5 organs of actions. 5 Pancha Pranas, which is air sheath. This is Prana, Apana, Suvana, Udana, and Vyana. Mind and intellect. These are tools for the Atman to interact with the world. Sukshma Sharira. That is why this you can watch. How you think makes a big difference. These are tools.
How do you differentiate, madam, mind and intellect? Here
Mind
I get confused.
will take you anywhere and everywhere. Yeah, I can explain. Mind will take you anywhere and everywhere. Okay, think all the positive things or all the negative things you can think. Say you want to cross the street, you say, okay, I'm going to run and cross the street. My friend is on that side. Mind will take you there, but your intellect will say, stop, don't cross. That car is speeding. It is directing the mind.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah.
The intellect is directing the mind. Your intellect should be in control of the mind. Mind will take you everywhere. You should think of negativity about everybody around you. This person is like that. That person is like this. He is hurting me. She is offending me. No, you say, you know what? She didn't mean to say that. She said it because she didn't know that it is going to affect me. On the contrary, you can just talk to her. You told me this. I am offended. Is it really, did you mean this? She may say, oh, no, I didn't even think of that. We make in our own mind, other people are like this. On the contrary, you can just say, you know what, I want to sit with you for 15 minutes, half an hour. Can we talk today? When we do that, open, direct communication, there are no differences. We work together. So that is intellect.
Yeah, I got. In the sense, perceptions have got their own limit. Actions have got their own fixedness. Vital air movement, they have got their fixed trajectory. Buddhi, intellect also has got some format. But mind is so free of reins. As you said, there is no control. It can move anywhere in the universe.
Yes,
right now I can pick a moon.
1 minute.
Right? Yeah. I got. You explained it beautifully.
I'm sitting here, I can travel to India and come back.
Yes.
Mind can go there. Mind is faster than the speed of light. And think about even 20 years ago, she said this to me. So This is a bogus sadhanam, tool. How we handle the tool is important. I can have an axe. I cannot cut a vegetable with an axe. I can have a knife. I cannot knock down a tree with a knife. It is how we handle the tool is very important. Next one is, this is a summary of 12 and 13. Grossification, fruits of action is Panchikarna and Karma Palan. It is a place of experience, Bhogasthanam, like the AC room. Now, subtle body is 17 parts. Instrument of experience, Bhoga Sadhanam. It is like the AC equipment in that room. I am not the room, I am not the equipment. I am the enjoyer of both. This is causal body. Causal body is the cause of other. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This subtle body, I understand the disintegration of the body, physical body, gross body. But subtle body leaves means exactly what? And how subtle body transfers from one body to another body.
That is.
Prana is everywhere, constant like a sunlight, no issue. Gross body disintegration, I see into the 5 elements. But what does it mean by subtle body and subtle body leaving the body?
Okay, subtle body leaving the body.
Later.
No, I can explain that. I sent you a YouTube by Swami Tadatmananda in Atma Bodha Center. What is reincarnation? If you happen to see it in your phone.
I saw that.
That is the subtle body. The subtle body, what I think now, what I say, how I speak, how I act, they form a package, they travel to the next body.
What does it mean by travel? Traveling means
travel
what?
Travel in the sense it doesn't travel in the space. It takes another body. I choose my, like we go to shower. When we go to shower, we have all the clothes that we want to put it after shower immediately in the bathroom. We don't come out and look for where is my shirt, where is my pants. We don't. Everything is ready. So also all our thought, word and deed, it is creating that readiness. So then when this body is left, this body is shed, the Atman is there, but the Sthula Sharira goes and takes all those packages. It is coming in future verses. So it is taken to the next body. That is why they say dharmic living, because whatever we think and act in this birth, it is going to come back to us anyway. So that is next. So this one is causal body is ignorance, not knowing the self. Just like darkness and light cannot coexist. Only either it is dark or it is light. Either I am asleep or I am awake. There's no in between. Now, Aruna is the charioteer. That is the dawn or dusk. The 7 horses represent 7 rays of the sun. That Aruna sees the darkness first. Because once sun comes to darkness, there's no darkness. Darkness dissolves completely. So Brahman is the substratum of everything, including the sun. You are that. Sun is a symbolic representation of self-knowledge. You are that. This is what is very important that we want to end with. You are this Sakshi Chaitanya, witness, illumining consciousness. This one reflects. Reflection, like in a mirror. A lamp in front of a mirror will reflect in the mirror. Now, when I see a dog, I get the light waves. I don't see the dog. I get only the light waves. That light waves is inert. This dog doesn't know I exist. Light waves doesn't know I exist. This reflected consciousness doesn't know I exist. But this illumines these waves, light waves. And I think I know. This reflection and this illumine is called mind-intellect equipment. Ahankara Chaitanya. We also call it Jiva, individual. In Tamil it is Uir. It is inert. This is inert. This is inert. This is inert. But once I know it, once this illumines this light waves, then I say, I know that is dog. That is my dog. I and mine comes at that point. when actually I am that. And we don't know I am that. It is just a reflection. The reflection illumines my thought in my mind. I am not the object. I am not the mind. I am not the reflection. I am that. This slide will come again and again for re-emphasizing. So I am the Sakshi Chaitanya, illumining consciousness. I am not the reflected consciousness. Okay? With that, we end today and we will continue.
Beautiful. We have to discuss this part once again.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you very much.
One.